Okay, Norton's theorem means you have to find out I Norton, or that is also called as I short circuit. And again, you no need to find out R Norton again, because R Norton is always equivalent to R Thevenin. Okay, only you have to find out the I Norton or I short circuit. So what is the procedure for Norton current? Okay, so you have to remove the load first. Okay, remove load and short circuit. Okay, after removing the load, you have to short circuit the load actually. Okay, it's like you have to remove and then you have to short circuit that point. Okay, and again, where is your load? Load means the element that you are interested. Okay, this 3 ohm is a load, and again simply I will short. Okay, simply I will short. Okay, then I have to find out what is the current going there. Okay, so once if you short the load terminal, the diagram will become like this. This side is current source 5 in 530 degree. This side is voltage source 10 degree, and 2 J2. This is now I short circuit or I Norton. Okay, this is minus J1. This is 1 ohm. Now again, my aim is to find I short circuit. Okay, in order to find I short circuit, I am going to apply the maximum power transfer theorem. I am going to apply, sorry, not maximum power transfer theorem. I am going to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, to find out this I short circuit. Okay, you can go by any method, no problem. But now here I will try to apply the superposition theorem. Okay, so I short circuit means, okay, I can split into two parts. I short circuit 1, I short circuit 2. That means the current here due to this voltage source, the current here due to this current source. Okay, that is the meaning. Okay, so once if I activate this source, voltage source, then I have to deactivate this source. Okay, so I have to remove the effect of this source when I apply the superposition theorem. So once if I remove this source, this is open circuit, and again this element will be hanging. So again no current will flow across this element. So the entire current that comes from this battery will go only here only. So that current is simply this voltage divided by this impedance. Okay, so the current due to this voltage source is 10 degree divided by 2 plus J2. Okay, and then okay, I have to remove the effect of this. I have to remove the effect of this voltage source. That means I have to short circuit this source. Okay, I have to short circuit this source. Okay, once if I short circuit, what will be the current? Okay, once if I short circuit this, already some current is coming here. Okay, see this I am going to short circuit. Okay, the same current. Okay, whatever the current that I am having here, the same current will come here, that also will come here. But here short circuit, here some resistance is there. Okay, once if you apply the current division formula, okay, see whenever, say if you are having, for example, if you are having 5 ampere total current, okay, one short circuit path is there, one resistance is there. Again, if you apply the current division rule, here no current will go because this is short. So entire current will come across this terminal. Okay, so the 5 ampere will come here, and again it will become 5 ampere here. Okay, similarly, now you are getting 5 ampere current here. That current will not go in this direction, but it will go here because this is simply short circuit. Okay, so simply I can take that here. Okay, 530 degree. Okay, now you add it both, then finally you will get a 6.830 degree. Okay, so this is the short circuit current. Okay, but once you know short circuit current, you know R Norton, then you can connect with the load. Okay, so the short circuit current value is 6.83. Okay, 6.830 degree. What is the Norton value or Thevenin value? Okay, the Thevenin value is 2 plus J2. It's already calculated. Okay, so 2 plus J2. Now the load, the element of interest is load, then that is 3 ohm. Okay, that is 3 ohm. Okay, now I have to find out what is the current across this load. Now I will apply the current division. I is equal to 6.83 opposite resistance divided by total resistance, that is 5 plus J2, and I'll get this same answer, that is 3.58, 23.2 degree. Okay, so now, and again we have applied, okay, see Thevenin's theorem, Norton's theorem, and superposition theorem. Okay, finally we can also find out the answer with the help of the branch current method. Okay, branch current method, that finally we'll see. Okay, with the branch current method. Okay, so this is the problem. Okay, now 2 ohm and J2. This is okay. This is already they given as I. Okay, that only we want to find out. Okay, what is the value of I? This is minus J1. This is 1. Okay, now I know the current across this branch. Already some current is coming here. Okay, see, already some current is coming here. Okay, that will come like this. Okay, some current is coming here, something is going here, then what should be the current here? Okay, what is entering minus leaving? Okay, what is entering? 530 degree is entering, I is leaving, so what should be the current here? 530 degree minus I, simply you can put like that, that is the current going in this branch. Okay, now again only one unknown variable is there, that is I. Okay, then how to find out that I value, that unknown variable value? Okay, so again you can apply the KVL, okay, in this loop, because you cannot apply anything here because you do not know what is the voltage across this current source. So but you can apply the KVL here. Okay, so once if you apply the KVL, minus 10 0 degree and 2 plus J2, 2 plus J2, here the current is going in the opposite way. So and again minus 30 degree, and this minus I will become plus I. This minus I will become plus I. Okay, and this is 3 plus I. This is 3 plus I. Anyway, this is one equation. Ultimately, you can find out what is I. Okay, that I is 3.58, 23.2 degree. Okay, like this you can calculate. Okay, or otherwise you can even apply the nodal also, then also you will get the nodal voltage, then you have to divide by 3, then finally you will get the current. Okay, so you can go by any method. Okay, so next we will see the maximum power transfer theorem when in the complex domain. Okay, so maximum power transfer theorem. Already we know the maximum power transfer theorem whenever the source voltage and the source resistance are like a DC values, but again we will extend that here. Okay, we will not do any derivation because already we have some understanding, and based on that we'll write the conclusions here. Okay, so first case 1, and this is Vs, the source is Rs plus JXS. Okay, and the load is variable completely, that is ZL is variable, that is RL also you can vary, or XL also you can vary. Then what is the maximum power transferred to the load? Okay, you know, whenever the condition is like this, ZL is equal to ZS star. Okay, under this condition maximum power will be delivered to the load. Then what is the maximum power delivered? P maximum is equal to the modulus value of source square, because the source may consist of some degree also. Okay, Vs theta, that's why here they are putting modulus value of source square, and 4 times of Rs, because under the maximum power transfer RL should be equal to Rs. Okay, so Vs square divided by 4 Rs, or otherwise in a standard format you can also write like this, because whenever you have a big circuit, equivalently you will write in terms of V Thevenin and R Thevenin. That time you can write like this also, V Thevenin square 4 R Thevenin. Okay, like this also you can write. And please make sure that this V Thevenin has to be represented in RMS, because whenever you calculate the power, the voltage or current that you are using has to be in a RMS domain. Okay, because whenever you deal about the AC signal as an input. If you want to find out the power, okay, definitely the voltage or current has to be in a RMS value. Okay. And then what is the case 2? Case 2, say this is the source RS plus JX, source resistance. This is source Vs. It's connected with only a resistance RL. Okay, only the resistance RL. Now, what should be the value of RL? Because this situation also already we have seen, RL should be is equal to the magnitude of this one. Okay, that is RS plus JXS. Okay, when RL is having this value, then the maximum power will be transferred to RL. Okay, that is RS square plus XS square overall square root. Okay, so and again here P maximum is equal to, okay, P maximum is equal to I square RMS into RL. Okay, P maximum is equal to I square RMS into RL. Okay, because you should know what is the current flowing in this loop, then you take the RMS value, then you multiply square and then multiply with RL. Okay, that is the maximum power. Okay, then what is the case 3? Case 3 is suppose the source is RS plus JX, but the load is ZL RL plus JXL, but only the RL is variable. Okay, this is like new situation. Okay, both RL and XL is there in the load, but only RL is variable. Okay, only RL is variable. Then, okay, see, if the RL is variable, okay, then what can we do now? Because XL we cannot vary. Okay, then what to do? Okay, so once if you imagine properly, see, this is only variable. That means I can take this quantity here. What is that? This JXL I can take there. Okay, so equivalently I can modify like this. First, I'll complete. This is Vs. Okay, so here even though the RL and XL is there, but I can vary only RL. Okay, I cannot touch this XL. But anyway, finally the power, okay, the real power is going to be in only RL. So what I can do, this XL I can take here virtually. Okay, so once if I take like that, okay, then this is RS plus JXS plus JXL. Okay, nothing will change. Okay, now here ZL is equal to RL, but RL is variable. Now this is something equivalent to the previous condition. Okay, see, in the previous condition, this is like this. Okay, now again, you know, whenever this situation is there, you have to take the modulus. Okay, modulus. Then what is the modulus value? XL plus XS modulus. Then you will get RS square XL plus XS whole square overall square root. Okay, so this is the way. Then what is the power? Power is equal to I square RMS RL, I square RMS RL. Okay. So then next, the case 4. Case 4. So case 4, the source is RS plus JX. The load is ZL is equal to RL plus JXL. But RL is not variable, but XL is variable. Okay, so if the situation is like this, again, when XL is variable, you know from your previous experience, if XL is variable, we'll try to vary this in such a way, this is cancelling with
the audio problem, sir.
Yes, sir. Not audible. Oh, இப்போ கரெக்டா இருக்குங்களா? ஹலோ ஹலோ